Final score 1-1. Dallas Burn are happy to be back at the Cotton Bowl after a miserable 2003 season at Dragon Stadium in nearby Southlake. Tonight, Colorado captain John Spencer, who was named to the MLS Best 11 in 2003, goes against a former teammate, goalkeeper Scott Garlick, traded to the Burn in the offseason. Garlick did lead the MLS in shutouts last year with 9 as a Rapid. It's the Rapids and the Dallas Burn coming up next here on Fox Sports Net. The summer's hottest game kicks off its 9th season as Major League Soccer returns across the U.S. In Washington, 14-year-old Freddie Adu has turned water cooler banter from politics to soccer as he grabs national attention. And tonight, our attention focuses in on Dallas, Texas, where Tim Hankinson's Rapids start the 2004 season in the Lone Star State. It's the Rapids and the Dallas Burn coming up next on Fox Sports Net. It is a super night in Dallas for the season opener. The weather couldn't be better, and of course the Cotton Bowl pitch couldn't be better. It is one of the best surfaces in all of Major League Soccer, and that's where the Rapids and the Burn get it going tonight. Let's get you inside here into the Cotton Bowl. Again, everybody, it's Mark Stout, and I'm joined by Dave Durr, former coach of the Burn and of the Colorado Foxes. Always exciting to kick off the season. And the Rapids, what can you expect from this team in 2004?
Well, you can expect a lot of new players from this team. Talking to Coach Tim Hankinson in his 4th season, after a tough year last year, really not successful in the playoffs, you've got to look at the new pieces to the puzzle here. Jean-Philippe Paguero, he's the exciting player to watch up front. Coach Hankinson really feels this is the first guy the Rapids have had to get behind the defense. And then it's really some guys that have been here that are looking to improve their play, like Darryl Powell, Joe Cannon, guys like that didn't have a full season with the Rapids.
Well, Scott Garlick was the goalkeeper for the Rapids, traded to Dallas. We got a chance to ask John Spencer his thoughts on going against Scott Garlick tonight.
Yeah, Scott Garlick's there, and also another teammate of mine's from my old Motherwell days is a guy called Simo Valakari. Dallas have just signed him. I don't know if he's got his visa in time for the game. So there's a couple of my old teammates there, plus Steve Morrow, who's the assistant coach, was an ex-teammate of mine in Queen's Park Rangers. So there's a lot of people there I know in Dallas, but for 90 minutes they won't be friends, that's for sure.
That sounds a lot like John Spencer. You want to talk about changes? How about Dallas? 10 new faces. They've released or traded 9 players since this time last year. Revamped the team.
Well, with Dallas, it starts with the coach. Really a coaching change. Only 6 wins. Colin Clark steps in. He changes the whole team. You're going to see 10 new starters tonight from last year's starting lineup, and also a lot of players that you're familiar with, like Scott Garlick in goal. Guys like in the midfield like Simo Valakari that Spencer talked about. Just a lot of new faces to the Burn lineup.
Dallas did win both home games last year against Colorado, 2 of their 6 wins. When we come back, the athleticism, the emotion, the passion that is Major League Soccer starts up again.
With some for pages to load.
Tonight's game on Fox Sports Net is being brought to you by Adams Mark, the official team hotel of the Colorado Rapids. By True Green Chemlawn, America's authority on lawn and landscape services. By Radio Shack, you've got questions, we've got answers. And by the Village at Legacy Ridge, the official apartment community of choice for the Colorado Rapids. Great night here in Dallas, Texas. 70 degrees as we kick off the 2004 MLS season. Of course, the Rapids in their road whites, and the Dallas Burn wearing the predominantly red kit here at home at the Cotton Bowl. Rapids try to control here early on the near side, knocked away by Salyer. And now a little jump ball.
You always see a lot of energy here at the beginning, Mark. Both teams just trying to feel out, new teams, a lot of new players. They don't know really what to expect from either team. So the one thing you can always bring to the table is a little bit of pressure.
Kind of stepped away by Darryl Paul, throwing coming up for the Burn. Dallas on opening day, 4-3-1. They have opened every season at home. No surprise when you get weather like tonight, 70 degrees, and you have the the Cotton Bowl field to deal with, which is one of the best. In fact, John Spencer told us this is one of the best surfaces he has played on in his career.
Yeah, it's a great time of year to play here. Unfortunately, the last 3 seasons, Dallas hasn't won here. It used to be a pretty big advantage to always get your home opener, but I've been able to put it away lately.
Beckerman couldn't step on that. It runs out. And a goal kick coming up. Yeah, the Bern have lost 3 openers in a row. If you look at the Rapids, as you look at Mark Chung, 0-7-1 in their openers. And Dave, they've scored a total of 8 goals in those 8 openers.
Well, let's hope that changes tonight. I mean, really lining up Chung and Henderson, you know, we talked about the new, but some of the old players are really going to make a difference in tonight's game. It's got to be a favorable matchup for Chung and Henderson with some really green players on the outsides for the Bern.
You're a Rapids fan, as you see Piguero on one-on-one, and Garlick with a nice hand save. It comes out to Henderson. Henderson wants a call. Now Piguero still on it. Finally, the Bern kind of get it from Chris Henderson and knock it out. I guess Piguero was onside.
Looked like he was on, and Bern was late stepping up there, and he did a nice job to touch it around Garlick. Garlick really reading it well, getting a hand to it.
It's Ronnie O'Brien down the right flank. 18 O'Brien with a right, and what a stop there by Joe Cannon. Cannon had it lined up first corner of the night.
What an excellent angle by Joe Cannon, Mark. He cut down the angle, gave O'Brien no space to shoot. O'Brien has a cannon with the right foot.
There's Garlick, who had to get a big left hand out on Piguero earlier in that sequence. A couple of good opportunities within the last minute and in the first 3 minutes of the game.
No foul, Kyle. Away.
Swinger.
I don't want to get in your way
And
there.
you heard the
That's why
call.
I stick.
A little bit of movement in the box. Let's go back to these stops here. You'll see Piguero, who was on.
Take a look here. It's just Garlick just gets a hand to it. He made a nice dummy to lean him to the left, but what a nice read by Garlick. And then O'Brien's shot. Look at the angle by Joe Cannon. He just makes the goal small. A cannon saving a cannon, I guess.
Yep, Joe Cannon, of course, came over via trade to the Rapids from San Jose last year and actually played the final 45 of the last regular season game of the year against Dallas here in Dallas against the Bern. Didn't give up a goal. Rapids lost that game 4-3 back on October the 25th of last year. But as you had mentioned, Dave, now he's got a chance to really settle in and train with these guys and kind of get a feel for this team.
Well, when he left, I don't think there was any question that Joe Cannon was one of the best goalkeepers in the league when he left. And he had some contractual issues and left for France. And I think when he came back, he came in a little bit heavy and never really got into the flow until the end of the season.
Got a chance there to look at the new striker from Haiti, Jean-Philippe Piguero, who wants to be known just simply as Pedro. Eddie Johnson can't get it from Beckerman, who just has to clear and get it out of danger's way. Rapids expecting a lot out of Pedro. And he kind of came right down the left. Let's get a good look at the lineups tonight. Let's take a look at the Rapids lineup, brought to you by the Village at Legacy Ridge, the official apartment community of choice for the Colorado Rapids. You'll notice no Pablo Mastroeni.
No Pablo Mastroianni, which is a big loss, but stepping in is Gary Sullivan. They're expecting big things from him. The outside's fairly the same, although De La Torre should do special things on the right. Tim Hankinson really likes him. We already talked about Piguero up front.
By the way, Pablo got a knock in that friendly midweek in Poland. Here's the Dallas starting 11, brought to you by Adams Mark, the official team hotel of the Colorado Rapids. We'll get to that here as Eddie Johnson steps one down. Behncke playing one long in the corner. Sullivan heads away the cross. It hits Borchers and Henderson back.
Not a bad early cross from Quill, though, before the Rapids had a chance to recover. One player in the box, but he had some space, and it just picked off nicely by the Rapids defense.
Powell finds Beckerman looking for Piguero on the run down the left side. Pedro able to hold and look. Couple of touches. Spencer shows. Can't get it to him, but here's Chung. You know, Chung has the left. Sends one through. Piguero knocked it down, couldn't get the shot.
It's a little slow to release there, but he's looked very active. I've liked him right off the start here. He's caused some decision-making to be made in the back of the Dallas defense. His pace is definitely something to be reckoned with.
Davis rolled it up front, and the run down the left side gets away from Dallas. Now a chance to look at the Dallas starting 11. This is what Colin Clark runs out tonight.
What you notice first is that back four. Gibbs, of course, a national team player, but all four of these players weren't even with the team last season except for Behncke, who's filling in. And the midfield, Valakari, the guy to watch, they really like him. They haven't had a strong defensive mid here since Lionel Alvarez left.
Dallas went 5-2-3 in the preseason. The Rapids 6-1-3. Both teams spent time over in Spain. Last Saturday, the Rapids a 2-2 tie in San Antonio against the Metro Stars. As Henderson throws one away, and a throw-in coming up for the Rapids. Heard good things about that trip to San Antonio. They get to stay in a first-class Hilton right in downtown, and I guess San Antonio is pushing for an MLS team.
Well, it's a gorgeous place. They got the river rolling through there, and the River Walk, which is well known for its late-night activities. Not that I never find that out.
Powell and De La Torre on that far side. Now Powell sends one through. Flag stays down. And a burn throw-in coming up.
Well, the more things change, the more they stay the same. You always have to admire Chris Henderson's work rate. He's just all over the field defensively and in attack. Makes a nice sliding tackle there.
Nhleko, a little bit of space. Sends O'Brien. Kachial knocks it away. And the throw-in coming up for the Rapids. We had mentioned Pablo with the knock in Poland. I think it's near his left hip. He tried to give it a go early tonight. Was able to run, but said he couldn't cut, so he's not even on the sub list. O'Brien gets away. Cuts one that Beckerman sees, and there's a shot by Eddie Johnson that just went wide, and that was some scary defending in the box by the Rapids.
Well, just a bad giveaway there by Richie. He was pinned into the back, and that's something you just give your chance for your team to reorganize. You can see here he gets stripped on the line. Good cutback. No one has a chance to recover, as they're lucky that didn't keep coming across the box. Quill was wide open at the back post, but can't blame Eddie for striking that first time at the 6-yard box. And good pressure at the last minute, or I think that'd been in the back of the net.
Eddie Johnson had 3 goals last year, 7 in his young career.
You know, at this level, everybody's blaming the defenders back there, but when defenders start to push forward into the attack here, you don't get numbers forward, and everybody started creeping. And when Richie lost the ball, it was too late to recover.
Chung's cross wasn't much of a cross, and Garlick was able to reel it in. Here's Scott Garlick trying to transition out on the left side. It's Quill, the former Kansas City Wizard and Tampa Bay Mutiny player, came over in a deal. De La Torre reads that well. Peguero again on the run behind the defense. Here's Pedro at the 18, trying to get it on his left. Now back on the right. Peguero cuts it back. There's Spencer back post, and gets knocked over in a corner coming up.
Well, he's catching that burn defense flat. He made a nice diagonal run across Gibbs, who's no slouch for speed, and got inside of him. Some nice work there. A little slow to support it. Of course, it's early in the season. Only Spencer got forward with him. Just take a look how he gets inside, but you're looking for white shirts. Finally, Spencer comes into the picture. Burn recovered nicely after getting beat initially.
Spencer with the corner. Walters tries to get him knocked around. The word is that Spencer will take some corners, and so will De La Torre from the other side this season for the Rapids.
Been impressed so far, Mark, with Kyle Beckerman's work rate, especially defensively. I'm not used to seeing him do such a good job of plugging in the midfield there. He was always more of a distributor out of that position.
Dave, he, I thought, improved his game by leaps and bounds last year, really became a part of this team, and then, of course, with the U23 Nationals and the Olympic qualifying, played a lot.
Well, I know Glenn Meyernick loved him at the U23s, and I didn't get a lot of chances to see him there, but his game has really improved from what I've seen in the past.
Eddie Johnson on a run. Sullivan with him step for step. That's the rookie, and he wins the foul. Sullivan out of Adelphi, a Long Island kid, and in the back for Pablo Mastroeni tonight.
Seems like Tim Hankinson always does a nice job of coming up with one player. Last year it was Borchers, where you're going, where did this kid come from? Sullivan very similar, and they loved him in the preseason. He does a nice job of just using his body there. Eddie Johnson, a lot of speed.
Only 21, a Herman nominee this past year. Behncke heads away, and Borchers will send it back to Cannon. See that Borchers there, he had changed his number from 26 to 9.
Well, he's a good defender, number 9. You never see a 9 in defense.
I know.
Coach has got to put a handle on that stuff.
I think Paul Bravo wore 9 for the Rapids, and although he played a little defense, it wasn't his game. There's Beckerman. I wants that knocked back.
It's always those defenders who want to be forwards, you know.
Kyle Beckerman. Heard that he's been kind of playing a little angry. He's
Well,
tough,
I'm not sure how to take that.
Well, he's toughened up. He did get the odd yellow card or 2 caution last year.
It's good if it's angry in a tough way and not good if it's in a verbal way, I guess.
We'll take it in a good one.
That's good.
Quill on the left side, looks up. Johnson making a run, far post. Sullivan away. Chung's got to come back, can't beat O'Brien. It's Ronnie O'Brien who broke his leg last year early in the season. And even though Beckerman read that, I think he wants to be a little bit more patient.
It's interesting how both these teams, really the style has changed for both these teams this year. If you're looking at them so far, I know Dallas looking a lot more direct right now, finding Nhleko on that early target ball and getting Johnson or the flanks off of him. And both flanks playing pretty high.
It's Behncke up from the left back spot. And I don't think that cross is going to get it done.
On the other side of the ball, Mark, you look at the Rapids. So far, most of the success has come direct right into the new player from Haiti, Jean-Philippe Peguero.
Pedro. MLS Timeline is presented to you by the National Soccer Hall of Fame in Oneonta, New York. April 6, 2002. We go back a couple of years. Maybe Tim Hankinson was pondering this when Carlos Ruiz had his 2nd consecutive golden goal as the Galaxy would beat the Fire 2-1. Week before that, in his debut, he had a golden goal for LA. O'Brien again down here on the right side. And Sullivan just sends it away. The Galaxy, of course, will be at Invesco Field at Mile High in a couple of weeks for the home opener for the Rapids. Ball through to the middle, De La Torre away. So Valakari couldn't bring that one down. Just over last week, the Finn who played in the EPL and also in the First Division most recently with Derby County.
Yeah, he's a good player, and you can just see he's not afraid to know what to do with the ball. He gets it wide, he's going to serve it early. Everything's first time, either to the width or he's in a wide spot centrally.
David Byrne have added these players. They still have Oscar Pareja and Jason Kreis, who are kind of nursing injuries. Kreis is available tonight off the bench. You'd think they'd have to fit into the lineup.
Well, they got some choices to make, but compared to their season last year, I think that's a good thing because they didn't have a lot of choices.
Sullivan called on a bit of a slide there on Nhleko.
I mean, you can see the style change here just a little bit, and I think when you're looking at a team right now, they're just trying to get some positives from a work ethic standpoint and trying to play more positive. So I'm not sure how that fits into a couple of those players' games. That'll be interesting to see with the Burn.
Brad Davis with the big left. Looking in the box, sends one through. Sullivan away. And Steve Jolley. His cross, good one that comes through. And kind of a dangerous shadowing run there by Nhleko and Eddie Johnson.
No, just a little slow to pressure on the outsides here, too. Too much time in the serve. You don't see a player within 10 yards of Jolley right here. And any time at this level, you got a chance to just pick people out in the box. That's dangerous for any team, especially defensively. You can see him piling in from behind there, no question on the foul call.
Toni Nhleko.
He's a big boy, but he doesn't really score a lot of goals. He's really strong with his back to goal, though, can hold that ball. Really nice target player.
Salyer up in the back, Chung able to steal. Kochow draws the foul. He's going to draw a card. Yep, Terry Vaughn is the man in the middle. And the first caution of the night to Simo Valakari.
Byrne trying to apply that heavy pressure here at the Cotton Bowl, and Richie did a nice job of just holding this ball and splitting the two defenders. Nice patience here not to give the ball away, and he gets the foul and a card.
Coming the 16th minute as Kachiao sends one in, headed away. Room for Quill, looks up, Johnson, midfield. Good step over. More good work for Quill. And now he gives it away. Sullivan trying to clear. Rapids have a little space. Is that the first touch for Spencer tonight?
Might be the first touch for Spencer and maybe the second touch for Cory. I don't think he's seen 3 balls out of the right. I was very curious to see how many times they can get him forward out of the right side.
Quick reminder about the Rapids Foundation Luncheon, which is coming up Wednesday, April the 14th, the kickoff luncheon at the Pepsi Center in the Ridgeline Restaurant there on the club level. Need information to get there, call 303-405-6128, or you can go to the website too, coloradorapids.com, and be there for the Foundation Luncheon, kind of kicking things off April the 14th. No score here in Dallas, just underway in the 18th minute. Exciting day soccer-wise. Freddie Adu made his debut with DC United. I think he got in early in the second half. And what I last saw was United won that game 2-1. Beating the defending champs.
Didn't hear much about Freddie's play, but I think they're going to want to bring him along slowly. A lot of pressure on that young man to perform quickly, and might be to his benefit just to kind of feel the league out a little bit before he gets that bullseye off his back.
I think Peter Novak, too, the new head coach, has said as much there in D.C. There's Scott Garlick. Had a chance to talk to Scott the other night. He told me he's living in Allen. Does that sound right? Allen, Texas?
Yeah, Allen, Texas.
Which is going to be near Frisco.
It's
which
out
is
there.
near Frisco,
Yeah.
but that's where the new...
They're all getting close to that new stadium.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how excited people around here have been about that situation.
This was going to roll to Garlick. He totally downplayed, any kind of an incentive going against his old team, the Rapids,
Yeah.
having been dealt here.
Which is unusual for him, because usually you can wind him up a little bit.
You can, but he made a point to tell you, no, I'm just going to go out there and, I don't think Joe Cannon's going to be taking any shots at me, that kind of a thing. Henderson chips a left in. Garlick's already called for it and grabs it.
Well, personally, I don't think you can go wrong with either keeper.
Yes, and Garlick, I think third all-time in the league in terms of wins. Last year he had 9 shutouts.
Yeah, and Joe's definitely one of the up-and-comers. So.
He was the goalkeeper of the year in 2002. Here's Scott. Kind of a whiff there by Kachiao. But Sullivan said, I asked him about the press. He said, I don't know. We haven't really played a lot with the guys we have coming in, a lot of new guys coming in. And
well, you got to think of that when you're coaching, too, because if you're Tim Hankinson, how do you prepare for this first game? You don't know what these players have to offer. They don't even know each other. So you're really just worried about your own team, and that's going to be a bad foul there as he gets the yellow.
That's Gibbs on Pedro Peguero.
He had turned him, and he's been causing him problems so far all night, and he got behind there, and it looked like the ball was clearly away, and he got stepped on.
Let's take a look at this.
Just take a look as his first touch is excellent, and he gets by, and there's no question he's late there as he really comes by the ball and over the top of it. And as soon as the referee sees the cleat over the top of the ball, you see how his leg came on the other side of the ball. As soon as he touches that, you're usually going to always get a card. I don't think there was a lot of intent there. Sometimes you just miss-hit the ball, but he definitely got him in the ankle, and a clear yellow card there. Good call from the referee.
Pedro will come off and then go back on. Back to Nat Borchers in number 9. By the way, Pedro wanted number 9, but Borchers had it. There's Tim Hankinson, 4th season.
I won't be worried unless Borchers moves up front this year.
Hankinson, 29, 36, and 19. De La Torre. Didn't get much on that.
No, and he did a nice job of cutting it back.
Yeah.
And had numbers in the box to serve to.
So Tim Hankinson who said, and I'm quoting him, I think our group is right where we need to be here at the start of the season.
Well, I have to be honest. We saw them with the U20s when I was...
Moved by Chung, cuts one down, and Garlick sees it.
I didn't want to stop the action there, but when I was assistant with the U20s this summer in their preseason, we played them, and they were clearly the strongest team that we played. They looked very sharp that early in the season. And I was very impressed. Of course, the regular season is where it's got to matter, but they were starting off very strong. And something that I noticed different than I had seen maybe in the past season, if you get a look at Colin Clark there, the new Bern coach, is just that they seem to have a lot more chemistry as a team. And I think that's always important when you have a league here that's so even.
Cannon mishit one. Now Nhleko on the run with the right. Johnson sends one to O'Brien, skips over his foot. That all started with Joe Cannon mishitting a clearance. Here's Colin Clark. Took over with 6 games to go at the end of last year.
That was a no-win situation. I'm sure he's happy to have a real chance at the job now.
See Steve Morrow sitting next to him. Now an assistant with the Bern. 3rd head coach, I think, here.
Yeah, the 3rd
Yeah.
one. They kept the first one a little past his time, so they had to get 2 real quick after that.
Eddie Johnson with a left. Cannon there. And Joe Cannon keeps it from the end line. Good athletic move by the keeper.
Yeah, you can see why I like him. He's just so quick on his feet. Great reactionary athlete.
Gibbs knocks down Spencer.
One thing I don't like so far, though, Mark, is the Bern are just starting to get in a little bit on the flank. And it's always been a question of whether Chris Henderson or Mark Chung add the offense or defense. You see Eddie Johnson crack that shot, and you see how quick Joe Cannon's feet were just to get an extra half step there to make that save as he pokes it wide.
Johnson got a pretty good left on that.
He played for us at the U20s. He's very dangerous. He just hasn't really done it at the pro level yet. Everybody's been waiting for him to break out, and they're thinking the way his preseason went, this is going to be the season for him.
Vultures out, runs Nhleko. Here's O'Brien. He's been getting up through the right flank, as you mentioned.
Well, it's a little bit of that little Russian roulette game when you play that way. And they're pushing him behind, and if Chung or Henderson get him behind on the flanks on the rapid side, they're going to get some chances, and vice versa.
Brad Davis trying to get through. Powell. Is he going to get a card from Terry Vaughn?
I'm going to have to see this on the replay because that looked like he got all ball. He kind of swept around.
It's the 3rd card of the night.
The question is whether he goes through the leg to get the ball. You know, sometimes guys come away with the ball, and it looks like they got the ball and they went through the leg, but that looked very clean to me.
Brad Davis is still down.
Just take a look here as he comes around. He gets behind him now. He comes on the side, and it looks like he did kind of catch his legs before he got it here. If you see right here, he kind of trips up. I don't know. That's a 50-50. One thing's for sure for me, it's not a card. You don't get a lot of benefit there when you go from behind unless you get your body in a good position defensively in the first place. But that looked fairly clean to me. Definitely not worth the yellow.
5 Bern players in the box near the 18. Brad Davis has the left. Sends one through, and it gets through, but Cannon able to see it. I thought it might have glanced off of Eddie Johnson, but Joe Cannon right there.
Good read by Joe. That was a difficult ball. Said he made that diagonal run. Even whether he hits it or not, if you just look here, the goalie has to just kind of read the reaction there. He did a nice job of holding his ground. If he cheats near post, thinking Eddie's going to get a piece of that, that's going to be in the back of the net.
Behncke wins that ball, but Beckerman now to De La Torre. Looking for Pedro over the top again. Figueroa, of course, with the Haitian national team, just what, 2.5 weeks ago or so, 3 weeks ago when they played the U.S. team down in Miami. And I think that's where the Rapids first really saw him and took some interest.
Yeah, really talking to Coach Tim Hankinson. He talked to Fernando Clavijo, who used to coach for New England in the league, and he, heard some good things about him, but he really liked the way he caused problems for the U.S. defense. Even though he didn't get a goal in that game, he was really stretching out their defense. It gave them a lot of problems. And his feeling is that they've really never had that in Colorado. It's always been players who are very active, but no one that can really has that breakaway speed for a team.
He's been in on goal, but he hasn't had a shot so far. The Rapids, no shots here in the first 25. At the top, Sullivan heads it away. There's Henderson. You hear them yell away, and he wins the throw-in.
I always love those statistical guys because, he has 2 breakaways. The guy picks one up his feet, but he doesn't get a shot for it.
It's no shot, right? But it's the most dangerous play of the game so far. Powell, now Gibbs. Cory Gibbs, who was supposed to be in Poland midweek, but had some intestinal problems and didn't end up making the flight.
And they said he had a pretty strong flu. I know he didn't make their media luncheon, which is huge here.
Eric Quill did everything he could to keep it on his left. And we'll see if this is a corner coming up. It is.
Something to watch for, too, him nursing that flu like that. And you don't know how long he'll be able to go or whether he'll drain a little bit as the game wears on.
Brad Davis, you told me at least tonight, maybe a little bit more of an offensive role. And he'll take the second corner of the night for the Burn with the left. Davis goes long.
There we go.
And Jolley out jumps Sullivan, but can't get to it. Noodles and Company, from spicy to comforting, healthy to indulgent, there's something for everyone. You find your neighborhood Noodles and Company at noodles.com. Joe Cannon. You know his comments about when Scott Garlick came over and Scott Garlick was talking about Joe Cannon coming and said, I don't care if it's Joe Cannon or Joe Rifle.
I read all
and
that,
then,
yeah.
You know, Cannon comes back. I don't care if it's Scott Garlick, Scott Pepper, Scott Salt.
Those goalies have a sense of humor.
I could hear Spencer up here yell at Chung for taking that restart too quick.
Right.
And he did mishit it right to Garlick.
Well, if you've got somebody in behind him, you've got numbers, you know. Even at the pro level, 1v1 is a good number. But right now, they need to just settle in a little bit. They haven't had as much as possession as they'd like. So it's time to really let them set up some plays and get numbers forward.
DeGarro. Tough touch looking for Chung. Now with Rhine again down the right flank. Kachow on him one-on-one. Corner coming up. Did what he had to.
Denying the service, very dangerous there. It's interesting the way Dallas has changed a little bit. We expected Davis, who played more of a attacking role at midfield, but he's been holding more, and Valakari's been pushing up in front of him.
Short corner, O'Brien. Cross right into Chung. That one doesn't get through either. Valakari comes up.
They did a much better job. You can see him getting pressure on that serve that time.
Quill, tough first touch. Beckerman at least got there. De La Torre gives it away. Still a loose ball, so Kachow just sends it out, runs it out. Another corner coming up. You think you're almost a half an hour in.
Well, I like the way that they started, and they had a couple opportunities quick into Pedro. And then he hasn't seen the ball really in the last 5 minutes. The Burn has been able to play a little more direct. And
Cannon punches away. Another call down in the box.
the Burn's setting a pick down there, and the referees called it every time, you know, like the basketball play. As I was about to say, really just the fact that the Rapids have settled in here a little bit, and the Burn is just going direct. They're not recovering in time. The defense always in the first game of the year is just a little slow to adjust.
Joe Cannon, two-time All-Star here in MLS plays, and sets up for another goal kick. Trade went down last year, August 19th with San Jose. Rapids backup keeper too, Scott Vallow, a good keeper. There you go. There's the.
Yeah, he actually played for me here with the Burn.
Yeah.
And then went to Rochester and had a stellar career there.
Powell steps through, finds Henderson. He's offside. Darryl Powell only played 5 games last year. You know, he got to Denver in time for the July 4th game. And that's when the Rapids really kind of went on a streak. In the middle of the year, they won 5, 6 in a row. And it didn't, you know, Powell was able to, he had that bad hamstring. And they were able to say, okay, well, we'll let you, get healthy. And the team was winning as well.
Well, he never seemed to recover from the hamstring until so late, and I think they really count on him to be that anchor in the midfield so they could slide Pablo in either back in or at least alongside of him. And I think that's one of the things Coach Hankinson is most excited about, is just having that anchor in and seeing how he now will play since he's had some time to really adjust to the league.
The touch to Chung, finds Spencer. Spenny thinking about a shot, has Henderson on the right. Now Henderson. Chris with the left. He pulls it in. Powell trying to get anything through, and the Rapids can't get a quality shot off.
They didn't get a good shot off, but I like that. They're much more patient, have some good combinations in the box.
The 2004 Dallas Spurs season
This shot is O'Brien again. Little touch in. Pulled out by Johnson.
Gibbs really did a nice job defending on Spenny there, recovering in time, because it looked like Spenny had a half chance to rip the cracker there from the top of the 18.
He gave it a thought, but pushed it to the right. And that's sometimes you get caught up and you just keep going right and right and right.
Right, as soon as you hesitate.
Right.
Mallory Binder.
Jolley trying to go over the top.
Mallory Binder, come to the Burn information table on the Gate 2 concourse during halftime tonight. You want an
Trying to look a quick throw.
soccer ball.
It's one of those things you have to watch for. When you get a player like John Philippe up there, and he's got all that speed, your tendency sometimes is to just bypass the midfield and try to go a little too direct 1v1. And the Rapids so used to playing through Beckerman and hopefully through Powell.
There's Beckerman. Kyle Beckerman, who has not scored a goal. Actually has one in MLS play in his rookie year. But last year he had 5 assists without a goal. But
when you look at this team, you really want a chance to afford Chung and Henderson a chance to support on that width of the field. And when you're getting too direct, it's just Spencer and John Philippe up there. And Peguero has a lot of nice speed, but you just end up getting isolated.
speaking of goals, Dallas last year, 35. They had 1 or less in 22 of their games.
Yeah, they didn't have a very good season on either end of the ball, and that's a tough way to win.
They allowed the most goals in the league, too. Spencer going to hassle Behncke from behind. Still he gets the pass off. Quill looking up for help. And that one rolled.
I like the move, though, for the Burn to the Cotton Bowl. You got to feel like, they're just ready to forget that last season from the stadium to the team and just move forward.
What was the whole situation with that since you live here in Dallas?
Well, it's really far out, and they lost a lot of the Hispanic community, and I think that was a huge portion of the crowds here, and they had hoped they would follow them, but they didn't, and then the team steamrolled.
Chris Henderson. And he mishits one. Spencer standing there. And the hope is that the new soccer stadium will be done.
It'll be done for next season. I mean, they've already broken ground. That's what they're planning on. And everybody's very excited about that. But I think just the fact that last year, once the team started losing, it was even harder to get people out there. And the only thing hot about the Burn was the fact that your shoes would melt on that AstroTurf.
There's Quill, who switched sides, and that one kind of got away from him. There's Ronnie O'Brien. There was some thought tonight that Bobby Rhine would start in the midfield, but Quill is on the left side. And
I think that's one of those thoughts that I have when I want to give the media guys the fake lineup so no one knows what I'm going to start with.
So you've been known to do that, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
almost every time.
There's Bobby Rhine. You can't see him.
If they don't know if a guy's healthy or injured, that's always a...
Well, O'Brien's coming back from that broken leg, and apparently he is healthy. We'll see if he goes 90.
He started out so strong for them. That was another key loss for them last year. And that was just a brutal play. Yeah,
it was May 3rd against D.C.
I was actually doing that game for the league in D.C., and that was just a brutal tackle.
Nhleko. There's Behncke, one of the 2 Ivy Leaguers on that back line. And Johnson can't hold it in. Throw-in coming up for the Rapids. Milton Reyes was around these parts too recently, right?
I think they just released him recently. They took a good, strong look at him. In fact, he played their last exhibition. I wasn't sure whether they were going to sign him or not. Now, they were really in a team that has made so many changes. I don't think I've only seen that one other time in the league, and that was San Jose in '98 when Brian Quinn came on.
Little lead for Borchers there. Brad Davis chips a left. Cannon has to get on it, and he can't get on it. It rolls And Brad Davis will get a goal. Or was the flag up? Now I think they're saying no goal.
I think he was offsides. The player that dummies it there, I think, let it through his legs, and it's going to be no goal. They're not going to like this call,
Terry Voss
especially with the home crowd. But I think the player there in an offside position does distract the goalkeeper.
See if we can tell who's off.
Just take a look here as he drives it. When he dummies it, watch Eddie Johnson here. I think he's in an offside position, dummies it there, and that's what they're calling the offside. Now, that was a very close play, but the lineman right there in position.
So a no goal for Brad Davis. But here comes Nhleko and Dallas again. Borcher's good stick.
That's a great play for the Rapids and a tough one if you're the home team.
Finds Chung wide. Now Chung cuts in. Chung still on it. Little chip. Big arrow to Spencer. Spenny got something on it, and this one just rolls over and in. What a turn of events.
Just talk about a game changer. You see at one end, and this is the way soccer is sometimes, Mark. Unbelievable. The Burns feeling they got robbed on one. Eddie Johnson, hairline offsides, no question, I think. When you look at the replay with the linesman there, and then you look at this. A great ball from Mark Chung. Switches the field. The defense can't recover. The header from John Philippe, perfect back to Spencer. He first times it. Scott Garlick gets down well, but he can't get enough of a hand to it really to stop the power. It just rolls by him and into the corner. 1-0 Rapids. What a great turn of events for the Rapids.
There's Spencer. Had 14 last year. Gets his first goal. Scott Garlick got a hand on it, but it slipped by. And that's the kind of shot, too, where Spencer, he wants to get as much as he can on it, but he pulls his foot back because Gibbs comes through, and the deflection
well, you get the
defender
there, you get the deflection, and the keeper's already moving, so now he can't regain his momentum and push a little bit farther. It actually, the same thing happened to Joe on the goal, even though it was an offsides. His feet kind of slipped as he started to go down early and thought Johnson was going to flick that on.
38th minute, Spencer from, should be Peguero and Chung.
I can't tell you how critical first goal, first game is. It just sets the right tone for your season. Of course, there's a lot of game to play, but brings a lot of energy to your team.
In last year's Rapids opener, it was 2 minutes in at Vesco Field, and I think Brian Ching scored before anybody was able to get a cold one and sit down, and Rapids had to play catch-up, lost that game 2-1. ZZ Roberts scored in that game last year. He did not make the trip here tonight. Still nursing a sore knee.
And that's another player, too, that they're counting on big things from. He had a strong preseason.
Henderson shows.
I've talked to Tim a lot of times over the years, and I've never really heard him this fired up about a team, to be honest. He's been very strong in the chemistry of this team.
You see they're going to do the call on there. Gibbs wins the call from Pedro with the orange boots.
Gonna have to get used to that Pedro. I keep wanting to call him John Philippe. It just sounds like one of those swashbuckler kind of names.
I know. We ran. I ran it down with some of the guys. Is it JP? Is it John Philippe? Is it? But he wants to be known as Pedro. Apparently, it's a nickname his mom gave him. His family immigrated here in '99 and he's been down in the Fort Lauderdale area.
Well, he's had a good beginning. A nice header cut back for Spencer.
Yeah. Garlick looking long. Comes right to Quill. Valakari out wide, Behncke now back to the Finn. With a through ball. Davis kept his run going, but Nhleko gave it away. And I think Quill caught Chung coming around.
Well, you just got a tug on his shoulder. Quill cut inside. He had the 1-2 with Davis down the line. That's really the first time I've seen Davis get in behind so far tonight, which is a good thing for the Rapids.
Spencer wants the ball, has the goal, 38th minute. And it came literally, 30 seconds after a chance that Dallas had. Thought they had scored on. Spencer just wants this one to be sent long. Behncke out of Princeton.
That's a good ball.
Henderson with the right. Cross gets through. Off of Salyer. Knocked away.
You know, the few times they've gotten in those wide positions. Of course, Chung getting the cross in for the goal.
Eddie Johnson was wide open on the right. O'Brien coming through near the 18. Gets the shot. Cannon there.
Well, I can't tell you, that was a much tougher save than it looked like. He caught him going the wrong way, and he kind of hit an outside spinner with the outside of the foot. It was going to the near post and buckling back on him, almost like a screwball for a baseball pitcher.
Rapids announcing something new. 4 and fireworks pack this season. Purchase any Rapids 4-game pack and get the 4th of July game for free. Packs for all 5 games start as low as $56 per sheet. Call 303-825-GOAL. Ball through. Nhleko tries to knock it down. And it doesn't get down. De La Torre looking again long for Pedro. Little pressure, Chung on Salyer. Maybe enough to force that giveaway, but Behncke up. De La Torre was Johnny on the spot there, and Beckerman's just going to send this one down. 43rd minute, Spencer in the 38th minute. Early in this game, there were some quality chances from Pedro, as Brad Davis thinks about chipping Joe Cannon.
Thought he had him out a little bit there, and that was a difficult ball, actually. He kind of hung up there. Joe had a tough time with it.
It feels like there's a little bit of a breeze here, but I don't think that really would have affected that too much.
No, we were talking about it before the game, but you don't get days like this in Dallas. So maybe for a month a year here.
It's a great
day.
day.
Better than this.
Got off the plane. They said it was 75 and sunny. And
it's the cool breeze part you don't get used to.
And, you know, the strange thing, too, is leaving a rainy Denver last night and today, which, you know, hadn't happened just the entire month of March. It might have had a drop in precipitation. Next weekend, I think the Rapids will play a exhibition at the Air Force Academy. Try to get that in every year. Got an off week on Saturday.
And old buddy Lou Sagastumi up there.
With through ball, Quill with the right. Scary chance. Didn't get it on the frame.
anything. So
Big long legs. That's the way I describe you.
yeah. So
Well, Johnny, if you're going to make an adjustment, I'm going to let you play coach for about 2 seconds here. What do you do different in the second half?
I think we've got to possess the ball better and try and get the defence in the midfield up a little bit, maybe another 15, 20 yards, and try and keep the ball in Dallas half.
Thanks a lot, John.
Thank you.
John Spencer, he's got the goal here in the first half. The Rapids lead it 1-0 here at the Cotton Bowl over Dallas. Time now for the Nickelodeon Feature of the Week.
Heads up, MLS fans. 2003 was full of glorious goals, super saves, and heroic headers. And Nick Gass was there every step of the way, keeping you updated with the MLS Play of the Week. And various stars proved they were worthy, but only one could take home the coveted Play of the Year. Last year, it was the Galaxy's Carlos Ruiz, who pulled it off with this acrobatic bicycle kick. So get ready, because Nick Gass is back this season to see who's got the best technique with the MLS Play of the Week.
That's the Nickelodeon Gas feature, Nickelodeon Games and Sports for Kids. Coming up next, first half highlights and stats from the Cotton Bowl in Dallas on Fox Sports Net.
What can be better than watching all the incredible goals, great stars, and excitement of an MLS match? Watching well over 100 MLS matches this season. The only way to do that is by signing up now for MLS Direct Kick. For only $69, you can catch all the live action and drama the entire MLS season has to offer. Show your passion for the sport you love. Call now to sign up for the MLS Direct Kick package for a full season of great soccer.
Welcome back to the Cotton Bowl here in Dallas, Texas, halftime. And the Rapids with a tenuous 1-0 lead. John Spencer with a goal in the 38th minute. It's Mark Stout and Dave Durr here tonight in Dallas. And Dave, we've already been talking off air about how the Rapids have to feel fortunate after what went down in the first half.
Well, I know you expect to play that way on the road. It's always difficult on the road. They didn't keep as good as possession as they would like, but really when you look at the highlights of this first half, it's really, we talked about the new players coming to the Rapids, and there it was. Antonio De La Torre gets a great ball into Pedro. Nice save by Garlick here, and take a look as he gets the hand just to the feet. It looked like Pedro had beaten him. And then at the other end, the Burn making a few saves himself. Yeah, that's Joe Cannon getting down, really moving that feet. Good left footer here by Jeff Davis, and that was a tough ball to see as it just came across an excellent screen. Probably the best chance of the half for the Burn.
This is the no goal here. You'll see Johnson, who dummies it, was in an offside position.
Yeah, he came up just at the last minute. Joe Cannon never sees that ball. It trickles by his feet. Just a tough save.
This is what happens literally 30 seconds later.
Nice ball from Chung as he switches out, but the head down by Pedro, and John Spencer doesn't get all of it, but he kind of wrong foots Garlick here. Gets a hand to it. Just the power alone as he's wrong-footed rolls into the goal.
That's Spencer's obviously first of the year. He had 14 last year when he was part of the best 11 in the league. There's your first half stats. You see the shots on goal. It's 10-2 Burned, and they've had some quality chances.
Well, that's what stands out for you. Rapids not really doing a great job of recovering on those wide positions. As soon as they've lost possession, the Burn have come numbers full out, and they've had some speed getting in on the flanks. And
what do you think the Rapids can do? And do they just have to tighten up the middle there?
Well, I think Spencer said it all in his halftime interview. I mean, they have to keep better possession out of the back. If they can just hold the ball a little better, get it up front, give their midfield a little time to support, they're going to be fine, because they've done some very good quality things, but they're getting killed on the counterattack when the Burn's able to just get the ball and get numbers forward.
45 in the books, 45 to go. We'll come back here to the Cotton Bowl second half action. When we come back, Rapids lead the Burn 1-0 here in Dallas. Tonight's game on Fox Sports Net has been brought to you by the Village at Legacy Ridge, the official apartment community of choice for the Colorado Rapids. By Radio Shack, you've got questions, we've got answers. By Adams Mark, the official team hotel of the Colorado Rapids. And by True Green ChemLawn, America's authority on lawn and landscape services. Nice night here in Dallas. Great night for soccer. 70 degrees at kickoff. And just about set for the second half. It's Mark Stout and Dave Durr tonight. We'll be back on in a couple of weeks when the Rapids have their home opener against LA. There's John Spencer. The captain with the goal in the 38th minute. If you're wondering about the substitution situation, no subs for either team here at the half. The Rapids bench extremely thin. Pablo Mascherani made the trip, but he is not available because of a knock he took in Poland. He played 52 minutes on Wednesday, so the rest of the bench, Scott Vallow, the backup goalkeeper. Then rookie Adrian Kahn, defender. David Castellanos, who is new to the team, out of UConn, and Matt Crawford and Zach Kingsley, a couple of familiar names, but that is it in terms of the bench for the Rapids.
It'll be interesting to see how the two coaches adjust too. You can see the styles of play now. They're going to have a little time now to figure out what the team's doing that they haven't seen in the whole offseason.
Eddie Johnson looks up, tries to play Quill, switches it. Now this is Quill on the left side, and Valakari with a stick. See, the Mexican played in the Mexican first and second divisions.
You got to like those two pickups, both green cards, not counting against your foreign player limit. Pedro, of course, a Haitian, but also has his green card.
De La Torre, a guy whose father was on the 1978 Mexican World Cup team, and his soccer lineage throughout his family. Cachel now.
This is much better to start. You can see the patience on the ball. They're able to work it upfield. Of course, I jinxed him as he plays it behind the midfielder.
Pal tries to play Cachel on that side.
But stringing, 5-6 good passes together, and you can see also they've dropped off. They're kind of aware of that burn counter now, and as they've sent those numbers forward, the burn has just waited till possession has been lost and gone off to the races.
The series has been pretty even. The Burn lead at 14-13 with one tie. And they've won 4 straight at home over the Rapids, but trail here early in the second half. Behncke tries to inside out it. Sends it right into Beckerman. Henderson. I don't know who he was sending there, but
he actually looked like he was trying to find Pedro at the back post, but I think just a poor choice there from Chris, because he had a lot of room to carry, and usually he's so good at really knifing in behind on that whiff, and he kind of slowed it down because he saw Pedro getting in behind. He didn't get all that he wanted to.
Behncke up from the back. Tough touch. De La Torre can't get it away from him. Behncke trying to cut Beckerman. And Powell knocks it away, but gives it away. So does Quill. Rapids got here Friday. I think they're going to change things a little bit this year, where Tim Hankinson wants to work out in the city where his team is playing on road games.
Mark, that's always just the feel of the team that you get. Every team's a little bit different. I know that in the first couple years we used to play at EC, they fly in like an hour before the game. And then you had other teams that come in like 3 days early and move in and buy an apartment. So you just never know. You kind of feel your team out there. It's not really one right way, but you just got to find a balance for your team.
Yeah, they really started. They flew out early Friday and then got in and worked out. They weren't allowed to work out here at the Cotton Bowl. They were told to work out at the University of Dallas.
Similar to the Cotton Bowl.
And that was Friday afternoon. Nhleko coming through, and this one's going to roll. Behncke, one-timer off Henderson. Throw-in coming up. Well, if you're into MLS, you ought to get the direct kick. You know all about it. DirecTV, 1-800-DirecTV, DishNet, 1-800-333-DISH, or in demand at 188-SPORTS-IN. And get direct kick. They've changed the name this year, but same deal. You get all the games. You can see me, see Dave. You'll be doing a lot of, I know, Burn games too.
I got a little bit of everybody.
Do you? People will be watching on direct kick. So Cannon's expression there. I think he's had a little tough time for some reason on some of the goal kicks. Chung, ball kind of squirted to Powell. Powell runs into Terry Vaughn, the man in the middle. Ball sent through. Pedro can't get there. There's Spencer, now Chung, who of course wants it on his left and cut it back, but right in the way of Valakari.
Good work that time from Richie Cachel, getting up the left side. He got a good early service in. Looked like we're going to get a quality chance to go, and just a touch a little bit got away from Chung.
50 minutes in, 1-0. John Spencer the goal for the Rapids. Valakari, who scored last week in the final preseason game. Nhleko can't bring it down to Chung. I love that little dummy move he has.
Yeah, he's great with that. He's been in the league a long time.
Yep, and we still
haven't figured it out.
Still wins it every time almost. You can get your Rapid single game tickets now. They're on sale. They start as low as $10 and available at the Pepsi Center box office. Or you can call 303-830-TIXS. Or, of course, log on to www.coloradorapids.com and get in on the new 2004 schedule. I know the Rapids website, too, is brand new and bilingual. Just kind of debuted it, I think, yesterday, and it's looking sharp. You get your tickets there. Joe Cannon takes his time here.
Well, the clock working for him. If they're not going to put any pressure on him to play this ball up, he can eat a lot of clock. So Eddie Johnson will step up and do just that.
Distributes left.
You can see how the Rapids have adjusted, even though we'd still like their possession to be a little better.
Eddie Johnson, tough ball over the top. Kachiao trying to head it away. And Chung on the run.
This guy basically now 8 behind the ball every time, looking for some of their own counters.
Henderson got to stop his run, though, for that ball. Beckerman trails. See, Pedro can run this one down. Jolley's on him. And Pedro dribbled it right out.
I think he knew he was going to lose that. Just tried to get his body in front of Jolley and get the foul call. Mark Chung looking for the run from Cacho out of the back.
Looks like Pedro might have changed boots here at halftime. Went from the orange. He'd been training in those orange, and I think he wore them primarily during his training with the Rapids. And now he's got some new blue shoes on. It looks like Spencer has some new skids this year too.
Well, whatever gets you goals. Players are funny, you know, a little bit of superstition in there, just like coaches.
Gibbs over the top of Spencer. Rapids have never won a season opener. 0-7-1 all time. That went off De La Torre. That's going to go the way of Eric Quill. Quill came over in a deal with Kerry Talley.
Both those players have had pretty solid league careers.
Right.
Good pickups for the Burn. I was actually surprised in the Quill trade a little bit. But he'll fit right into this system. I think he's going to penetrate on the width, and he's a very direct player out there.
Salyer up in his right back spot. There's Quill, touches it down. Johnson, Salyer in the box. Salyer with a left. And that one not on. Cannon kind of saw it, but still a dangerous spot.
Well, Philip Salyer played in Germany. He actually trained with the Burn before he went to Maryland. And he gets a good job of cutting inside or getting on his left foot. He's one of those steady players you don't see much of, but he picks his times to get forward and is actually fairly solid at the right back position.
Got a cold kick by Cannon. Still Gibbs is going to win that over Spencer all night.
Because of those long legs you talked to you about.
Nice move by O'Brien to bring that down. Oh yeah, he'll be on me about that later tonight. Knocked away by Sullivan.
Well, you got to like the start here in the second half, though, Mark, because they've really closed those balls to the width much quicker. They've got numbers behind the ball. You don't see the Burn running at them with a 3- or 4-man advantage.
That got away from Quill. Goal kick coming up. Make sure you bring the family out and enjoy the excitement of the Rapids. $59 gets you 4 tickets, 4 sodas, and 4 hot dogs. Great seats, great food, and the summer's hottest game off for only $59. First family night is Saturday, April the 17th. The Rapids home opener against LA. Call 303-825-GOAL for more info. They give the Burn a corner, their 5th of the night. Johnson got a header on that. He kind of couldn't get down on it, though, and that one went over the frame.
Got inside of his defender, though. Coaches don't like to see that. Joe looks pretty calm tonight, eh?
Seems to have fit in. We briefly mentioned the backup keeper, Scott Vallow, as that one runs down Spencer's arm. And Vallow told me that he thinks he's playing the best he's played. And if he can crack the lineup, he's confident. You had mentioned, I think he was the A-League Keeper of the Year one year, won a couple of A-League titles.
He played great at Rochester, really did. And you know, when he first came into the league, he was just a rookie, and of course took a little time to mature, but was always quite a talent. So it wouldn't surprise me for him to have a strong season, but he's got quite a hump to overcome there in Joe Cannon.
Salyer plays it back. Now Jolley. Pressure from Spencer. Good enough to win a throw in there. Just a little press on Jolley, former Metro star.
Well, we still haven't quite seen the possession we'd like, but as I said, I'm really happy with just, I think, two things that they've adjusted. They're getting much better pressure on the ball, and the Burn just aren't able to sit there and serve up balls into the corners. And they've been getting numbers behind the ball, really defending well with this 1-0 lead on the road. Now if we keep the ball just a little bit better, we're going to be in good shape.
Henderson wins the throw in. Quill doesn't like the call. Rapids a streaky team last year. Chris Henderson had his ups and downs. We get a look at this call.
Let's take a look here as Quill thought he maybe got fouled there, but that was all ball, and it comes off the leg of Eric Quill. I think a good call from the referee.
Henderson kind of picked his pace up a little bit towards the end of the year. The Rapids, weird year last year. 2 wins in their first 13, 0-5-1 start. Winless in their last 6. Couldn't get that win to get home field advantage in the playoffs. But in the middle of the year in July, they were the hottest team in the league. Pedro, look at this one touch. Beats Jolley down to the corner. And if Jolley hit it up, they say goal kick coming up.
He tried to lift it to the back post. He had Chung sprinting in instead of just slopping that ball back across the box. Tried to lift it over the defense to Chung.
Brad Davis plays a nice ball. Eddie Johnson with Sullivan on him, the rookie. And Sullivan knocks it away. Again, if you're just joining us, Pablo Masserini tonight.
Pick him up in the middle.
Took a knock in Poland on Wednesday. He made the trip and ran about an hour before the game, and said he really couldn't do much side to side. And Henderson didn't even play the ball there.
He never saw the ball. I think luckily for him, he didn't really get any of Behncke either. He just kind of jumped up and it fell in front of him. He had his back to the whole play. Just take a look here. He's looking up. That was really the end of the play. That wasn't the first one that he missed. It comes off of Behncke.
I was talking to Chris at the Rapids media luncheon this past week, and I always say this about a lot of athletes, and say, you know what, why don't you just keep playing forever if you could? And he said that he would. Because a lot of guys say, I'm going to shut it down. And because, Chris is what now, 34 or something? And I don't think he's old, but he told me, he goes, yeah, I think I'm just going to keep playing until I drop.
Well, there's two things that can't get old, and it's your legs and your brain in soccer, and he still seems to have both of those. So every player's a little bit different, but clearly his physical conditioning isn't going to be an issue for him.
Right. There's Beckerman trying to make a run down the left side. Chung's got a hand out. Chung now, it's an ambitious ball.
Used to hear stories about Chris on the national team and just about his lung capacity, pretty much the secretariat of the national team.
We were kind of talking about the new soccer-specific stadium coming down the road in Denver, hopefully. And he was wondering if he'll be able to play in it. And I said, why not? Garlick with the goal kick. A bit of a missed kick. Spencer, flag is up. And he's offside. MLS fans, be sure to check out the MLS Fantasy Challenge, which is the official fantasy game of Major League Soccer. Just go to MLSnet.com and register your team today. You got Spencer on your team. You're happy so far tonight. He's got the goal, 38th minute, from Peguera and Chung on a play that happened 30 seconds after a no goal, after a goal was waved off from Dallas. A little bit of room here, left side. Quill taking a look up, sends one in. Powell, good position, can't get away from Nhleko. Leave. O'Brien O'Brien coming through. Borchers did enough to knock it out for a corner.
Well, a couple players just getting a toe to the ball there. Looked like actually De La Torre had just got a toe poke in there, and if not, he's going to get the shot off. A lot of bodies in there. Tough to see who actually pokes it, but take a look how they stay with the ball. Somebody comes from behind there, just gets a poke, but that's actually Powell. Gets a foot to it.
Chung heads away the corner, so does De La Torre. O'Brien took a run at it. Jolley in on Cannon, who punches away.
Fortunate for Powell to poke that away. I think O'Brien has a shot inside the 6 to goal. I was just about to say we've been talking about how we've been getting better pressure on the ball. It's the first time in the second half we've seen a free service into the box.
Right down to O'Brien, gets a rip off and sails one over the frame. So O'Brien, who looked good tonight, you know, coming back from the injury.
He's definitely he's a direct player. He's got a lot of talent. He can strike a good ball.
The Village at Legacy Ridge, proudly managed by Quorum Real Estate Group, is the official apartment community of choice for the 2004 Colorado Rapids. You can visit it at 3850 West 112th Avenue up in Westminster, near where the Rapids train. Cannon off his line. A little bit of a miss hit, got it away. Behncke and Henderson. De La Torre comes right through Quill.
Fans didn't like that one. He actually just tried to slip around the shoulder, a clear foul, but kind of a smart foul here. You can see he's already gone up and committed himself, so he just kind of gets the shoulder down, make sure he's not going to get the ball, he's going to get the foul.
There's Sullivan, heads away.
You see an experienced veteran do is whenever they know they're not going to get there in time, they kind of lower the shoulder a little bit. You get a piece of your body first.
So a chip over the top. Henderson thought it might come back to him, didn't run on it, and here's Gibbs now. Davis, all kinds of space. De La Torre misses. Gibbs still on a run, and he missed kicks, but there's a foul called right outside the 18 as Gibbs is down.
I don't think that's the foul they're calling either. I think he got a tug on De La Torre at the last minute. He grabbed the shoulder of Eddie Johnson as he tried to get the left-footed shot off after Gibbs had already gotten tripped up. It looked like he got the ball tackled on the first foul. This be a dangerous free kick at this time. Just take a look here as he comes in, and right there he'll grab the back ankle of him, and that actually was Gibbs. Thought it was Eddie Johnson splitting in there, but you can see Chris just step in and catch his ankle before he gets the shot off.
Obviously the Rapids will have a wall up.
No intention there. He's just reaching for the ball.
Brad Davis has the left. He's near the ball. Quill is there, and also Ronnie O'Brien. Rick Cannon say he wants Spencer in the wall.
Well, that's for O'Brien here. We've got some new players, so you can see a couple people helping out with this, but
Valakari's in there too. Brian's got the right, Davis the left.
Brad Davis has a great free kick.
Davis into the wall, right back at him. Gets through. Cannon has to make a save. And when we see the replay, that's probably going to be a better save than you can tell from first sight.
That's the best save of the night, Mark. There's no question. Just take a look here. That deflects the wrong way. He's already moved across the goal. Now it kind of wrong foots him as he's already going down. He managed to get a hand to it. Fantastic footwork from Joe Cannon.
Brad Davis, another corner. Borchers away. Valakari goes over. Dallas has 7 corners to the Rapids 2 tonight. Valakari, 32 caps for the Finnish national team. Last 4 years with Derby County and 4 years previous with Motherwell in Scotland. That's how he and John Spencer have an acquaintance.
Well, if he's anything like his reputation, he'll help the Burn. But right now, you've got to look at the Rapids right now, and they're doing a lot of little things right, even for the mistakes they're making. Just players continuing to fight when they get beat, players getting inside when it appears someone's got a position on them. Just a lot of little things are helping them secure this lead and keep it up.
Spencer looks up, sees Chung toe poke Henderson. At least gets it to De La Torre. Pedro wanting the ball, but inside out it to Beckerman. See Spencer. Nice little ball, spinning. Already has a goal. Give and go. Flag is up. He's offside. Well, that was a quick give and go, and that flag came up. A quick restart.
That was great work. You can see that developed the whole way. A good initial ball in there, too. That one ball beat about 4 defenders.
Burn kind of swinging it, switching fields. Now come to the left, Behncke. Little ball in the middle, Sullivan. Almost mistimed his jump, but got it away. Davis looking for a give and go. Didn't get it back. Spencer, but Gibbs beats him to it, and Henderson a blatant elbow. And I think we'll see a yellow come out here.
No question on that one. And it's funny, too, because Chris really has some speed, and he could just tell that Gibbs was going to go by there, so he just tried to body in front of him.
Good foul?
Yeah, I think, well,
I mean,
you know, no one's going to like you saying it's a good foul,
yeah.
but there's no way that he's going to catch up. Gibbs is in full stride. Chris is just starting from almost a stagnant stop there, you can see. So he's just trying to get his body in front. He's not really trying to knock him over. He's trying to step across his body. And I think that's actually a dangerous place to make a foul, but a good foul there because Gibbs is in behind.
This one comes through. Comes right down, and again, the Burn can't get it on. As I think Jolley was up from the back, and
that's why you can't say if that was a good foul or not, because, you know, such a dangerous place for free kick. Take a look at this. You always got bodies. Got a guy at the weak side for anything that comes through. Good pressure at the last minute there. I think that pressure causes him to go over the body, goes for the upper corner, and mishits it.
Yeah, there's been a situation, that situation 2-3 times tonight for Dallas.
Yeah, no question.
They're near the 6.
Combination really of Colorado just throwing some bodies at the ball, trying to do anything to get a block on, and Dallas just a little bit rushed, it seems like, almost like they take that extra second to take the touch and then rush the shot.
Throwing coming up for Dallas. Make sure you visit Six Flags Elitch Gardens on Father's Day, which is coming up June the 20th. It's kind of a Meet the Rapids day there. You also get a free Grand Prix race ticket. And if you wear a soccer jersey, buy one, get one free admission. Playtime there at Six Flags Elitch Gardens. De La Torre, little touch, gets it back from Beckerman. Another good one, Pedro, Beckerman. Henderson was on the run. He wants the call. I think he is going to get the call.
Well, he may have wanted that call, but Pedro's not going to like that because he was in on the break. Behncke had tripped. Henderson got the foul. Just take a look at Pedro here. Chris Henderson gets tugged from behind, but Pedro's in on the breakaway because after Behncke fouled Henderson, he was in all alone.
And you can see
he's on. There was a central player there. I think it was. I'm actually not sure who it was centrally for the Burn, but someone was keeping him on, and it was clear it was a 2-on-1.
The linesman said you're on and almost play on.
Advantage.
Right?
Yeah. That's a tough call against the Rapids.
De La Torre chips a nice ball through, headed at Sullivan, who's good in the air. Saw Sullivan a little bit in the scrimmage that the Rapids had at DU at Denver University a few weeks back, and he looks like he's a guy that's going to be able to develop.
Well, he's done a fine job tonight. You haven't seen a lot. I mean, the Burn have gotten some chances. Most of it has been from free service and deflected balls or balls taken with the head and flicked on. You haven't seen anybody really break an individual down in the middle. And I'd have to say, you know, the Rapids defense has been fairly solid, at least defensively. As we talked earlier, we'd like to just see a little better passing out of the back so far.
I don't really know who as we get to, past the 70-minute mark, who Dallas is going to bring in here tonight. It looks like, I don't even know if Jason Price is available.
Well, I think he's available for limited minutes. I wouldn't be surprised to see him. They've named him captain. But he's had some tweaks with that knee, and if he's not 100%, I'm not sure they'll sacrifice the whole season to get him in early. But you could expect to see Bobby Rhine, who's been pretty hot going into the preseason.
And looking down on the bench, you can see he just put his jersey on, so we'll see who Rhine replaces.
And if you're Dallas, it's always a tough decision, though, because you feel like you're getting some chances to goal. And, do you want to make a change when you're getting those opportunities? But then you're not finishing them, which is the bottom line in any soccer game.
Ryan's talking to Colin Clark, Steve Morrow, and Brian Haynes, who's on the bench. Over the top, Sullivan beats Johnson to it, but kind of a tough knee there, and that's going to be corner number 8.
Took a funky hop on him, but he did a good job of just keeping his body in position, not giving up anything too dangerous. Those set pieces, always risky for any team at this time of the game.
Brad Davis has the left. Joe Cannon lining it up in the box. Cannon off his line and just jumps right over Darryl Powell. De La Torre breaking out and not going to catch up to that one. All right, here comes the substitution in the 72nd minute, and it looks like Nhleko is going to come off and Rhine will go in. And he'll go up top.
Interesting sub. I think just feeling like they were losing some of that movement from Nhleko early on. They were getting those direct balls up, and Johnson was getting off of them, but he probably hasn't touched the ball in the last 15 minutes.
Jolley thinking about keeping it right. Rhine, fresh legs around Kachiao, but that one too long. Bobby Rhine, who's had a knack of scoring some goals and coming up with some big assists against Colorado in his career.
Every player has that one team, and that seems to have been his team.
Last year was surprising. Got into 25 games. He only had 2 goals, though. He didn't really, his output, well, the whole team's output was down.
He's always been a kid, though, that has done a lot of work and giving you that player to play off of, but really hasn't gotten a tremendous amount of goals in any season. But it's one of those players as a coach you love to have on your team.
Foul there on Nat Borchers. Nat, I've been told, in charge of the NCAA basketball pool for the team.
Good to know.
Being the accounting student that he is. I've heard that the leader in the clubhouse now might be Jeff Stewart, who's injured. Bring the family out and enjoy the excitement of the Rapids. $59. Get you 4 tickets, 4 sodas, 4 hot dogs, great seats, great food, and the summer's hottest game all for only $59. Davis sends one through. Borchers down. First night is against the Galaxy coming up in 2 weeks. Call 303-825-GOAL for more info. Rowan coming up here. Sullivan lets it run. The Rapids get it.
Rapids in no hurry. Just that clock winding down for them. You can see Dallas getting a little more desperate now. They're trying anything to get in behind this Rapids defense, and it's been very strong in the second half. They haven't really given the quality opportunities they did on the counter in the first half.
That was O'Brien trying to get through. Couldn't do it. Of course, one of the other big offseason changes for the Rapids, Chris Carrieri released. Salary cap issues. I heard that he is already in Rochester and ready to play for the Rhinos.
You have that middle of the road cap position. If you're not starting every game and playing consistent, you're always in danger. You're either at the top of that cap or the bottom.
Foul on De La Torre. A couple of years ago, he broke out with a ton of goals. Last year had at one point more assists than goals. I think he ended up that way. But 55 points in his 69 games as a Rapid. Davis again has it lined up. Another sketchy spot for the Rapids. Gets through, and De La Torre just heads it out, and Cannon says thanks.
You just feel like at home here, the Burn would have a lot more energy in the play, and the game is just kind of settled down in here.
Comes through, hit Powell in the hand. PK.
Well, that's a tough one. Definitely ball hitting the hand, not really sticking his hand out to hit the ball, but there's no way the referee can miss this one. This is a bad break for the Rapids. You can just see it just hits his arm. His arm wasn't stuck out to hit the ball. That's one of those ones that's always a tough call because the rule reads, that your hand has to play the ball, but clearly his hand hits the ball and plays it to his advantage there.
Bobby Rhine is at the spot. Last year, Price 1 of 2, Davis 2 of 2, Johnson 0 of 1. Prine ties the game up. Unfortunate for the Rapids.
Well, this will change the game because they really took a defensive posture here in the second half, and we're locking the Burn down, not allowing a counter, and here they come off of a corner kick on a bad break for the penalty. Rapids just got to shake it off, get the goal back.
76th minute, Bobby Rhine from the spot. Joe Cannon guessed wrong, and Rhine slotted it in.
Goalie's always got a tough choice there, and Bobby Rhine just baiting him, waiting for him to make the move, and very patient there and slots it into the corner.
Left side, Kachiao finds Chung.
Well, clearly, if you see Bobby Rhine first, you're probably not going to see Jason Price tonight.
I don't even know if he's available. I was just looking at the official team sheet, and he may not even be on the sub list, so probably not. Now the game 1-1. Henderson going to make a little bit of a run. Pedro can't get the head on it. Unfortunate for the Rapids. They've never won on opening day. 0-7-1. Chung gets hacked.
Well, they're not going to like the fact that they had the 1-0 lead with this little time left and could have got away with a win, but a point's not bad on your opening day on the road. I'd like to see him get a goal here, get the 3.
This entire second half, too, Colorado really hasn't had a whole lot of chances against Scott Garlick.
Well, you also have to feel that they've been sitting back a little bit. They were getting counterattacked early, so they held the outside midfielders in, which is really where Chung and Henderson do their damage for this team. And now, it's just as easy to turn it, start to get those players back forward, but you're also going to be vulnerable to the counter here on the road.
De La Torre in the box. Away, Chung trying to run it down. Play Kachiao back in midfield.
It's got De La Torre wide if he plays it.
Played it now. He might have waited too long, but De La Torre is in. Little chip
ball.
Through. Henderson couldn't get on it. It was headed away, actually, by Jolley.
That was good work there. I thought he waited too long to play it, but what a nice ball in behind. De La Torre swinging in the first-time cross.
When it goes backwards, up, 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 up.
Trying to get the ball on the ground here.
You can just see how the Rapids game is picked up now, playing a lot more pressure on that Burn defense.
Borchers lets it run here on the near side. Gets through. Spencer going to hold Gibbs off and look for help.
Such a cheeky play there. He knows he has no support, just back heels it off to keep possession for the Rapids on the throw-in.
Foul on Pedro. Coming up here on the 80th minute. John Spencer scored in the 38th minute. And then Bobby Rhine, penalty kick in the 76th. There's your Fox Sports Net scoring summary. Rhine ties it up here in the second half. 10 minutes to go in the game. As if you're an MLS fan, you should know that no more OT, no more overtime.
And even if the fans don't like that, the coaches will like that.
Yeah.
It's always a struggle to play that long of a game and then come in and lose it in 5 minutes.
Powell kept his run going. Pedro tried to get it back to him. He didn't cut it quick enough, and throwing coming up. Yeah, no overtime this year, no shootouts anymore. It's the It's the way it's played, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah, and that's, I guess as coaches, you're always traditionalist, but it's the best way. If you're going to fight this long in the game and you don't get the result, then that's the way the game needs to go.
Eric Quill has a step, not a lot of help inside. That's why I thought he'd cut it back. He waits for help. Now looks up. There's Eddie Johnson, wide open. Chung coming back, a little pressure, and knocks it away. Kachow runs into O'Brien. It comes right to Rhine. Bobby Rhine looking up with a cross into Sullivan. Wanted a handball, but he'll get a throw in. I thought Rhine might have been offside there. I think that's what he was thinking. When that pass came, he took a step back, thinking he had to stay on.
I think De La Torre had just stepped in a little deep and kept him on, but he didn't see him. He was all the way across the field and kind of stopped on his own, thinking he was offside. Either way, the linesman didn't see it because he didn't have his flag up.
Gibbs held off Pedro there. Jolley helps out, but gives it away. Beckerman, a little bit of time, can look up, looks for help. Out to Henderson. One time through. Peguero, Pedro with a header. Kind of waving to Spencer like he wanted to get it to Spinney. And Garlick distributes here on the left side. First 7 years in the league, Dallas a playoff team every year, not last year. And that's why Colin Clark took over. Valakari, all kinds of space.
Dallas just showing a little more patience here.
Brad Davis is through. Plays one on the outside. Salyer's cross. Quality. Sullivan had to send it away.
Good job just cutting out the passing lane, not letting anything around the box. But good patience. That's something we hadn't seen as much from Dallas so far in this match. They really built up and then sprung the flame.
Double digits in corners now for the Burn. This is the 10th of the night. Davis is taking them all. Cannon looks up. And it doesn't see much, so gets a clear out.
Those are the balls. Spenny is such a pest, though. He just harasses you to the point that you miss-hit the ball. Seems like the Rapids always seem to win that second ball in those situations.
Just does enough with his body just to kind of get under the guy. Make an error. Header come about. Davis can look up. Sees a run from Quill, but kind of cut it too much. There's Joe Cannon. He and Scott Garlick early in this game had to make some quality saves.
And the game started out much more open. You can just see both teams really kind of settling in. Pace has come out of the game, and they're allowing each other some time to play.
Bobby Rhine still on O'Brien, a little crisscross run. Bobby Rhine stuck by Nat Borchers. De La Torre is going to beat him to it. But give it away. Valakari now. Salyer, little chip through. Sullivan over top. Salyer continues his run. Powell's not there. A left. And Rhine flashing through.
Not even sure that was a pass either. That's the second time Salyer's come in and he's cut the ball back to his left foot. Driven it. I think it was going far post. And I'm not sure that was even intended for Ryan. A nice little job of Eddie Johnson knocking it back. Cuts inside here and take a look. It comes across to Ryan, but I think that's a shot. Either that or he's a great passer on a driven ball from 6 yards away.
Yeah, because even Borchers, who was defending, didn't think that was going to come anywhere near Ryan.
But Bobby Rhine adjusted well, though, just to try to redirect that on goal. Of course, when I talked to Philip after the game, he'll say that was definitely a pass.
Just curling, yeah. Curling right at him. There's Sullivan, the rookie, who's gone all the way tonight. I don't know if you want to play a lot of...
They're trying to stretch him out a little bit and just kind of drag the Burn defense out, because what they've been doing is pushing it up, and the Burn, as soon as they stripped the ball, have tried to counter. So they showed a little more patience. Maybe you don't want to pass right back at this time, but they're not getting that movement in the midfield where players showing. They really give options to pass out of there.
That's a good ball.
This is a good run now.
De La Torre up through midfield.
The run from Henderson.
Not a good ball, though. Rhine cuts in. That's Behncke overlapping. That's a handball on Davis. And it has to be called. It is.
Good run from Chris Henderson. That just played a little inside, though. That's what you're used to seeing. A lot of times him and Chung will switch positions and just come from inside out. And it's so hard for the defense because the midfielder will start to track him. And then you've got to switch with that outside back who's already stepped up on the other midfielder.
Hey, make sure you get a group together. Come out and check out the excitement with the Rapids at Invesco Field at Mile High. Discounted tickets available for groups of 10 or more. Call 303-825-GOAL and book your group and get to a game. There, Quill looks up. There's one deep. Kotchel's choices were to go back or do that, and he plays it up the line.
Actually, good ball. I think the easier play there is Joe Cannon.
Scott Garlick just mishits one right up into, what's that, the Inferno? Some of the Inferno right there?
I think that is. They've been supporting this team a long time.
Happy to be back at the Cotton Bowl.
I think all the players and the coaching staff and even the management would agree with that. Nothing against the people were tremendous out in Southlake, but I think just, you know, soccer is really meant to be played on a natural surface.
Little chip trying to get to Henderson. Quill mishits it. Spencer coming through. They call the handball there on Spencer. That was unintentional, but they still call it. Spencer's got the Rapids goal. It came in the 38th minute. And then a handball on Darryl Powell in the 18. And Bobby Rhine didn't miss from the spot. 1-1. And I doubt there'll be much more than a minute or so of stoppage time.
Yeah, I'd be surprised. I always hate that handball call, though, just because really there's just no way for you to get your hand out of the way.
It's not intentional, but it's a, you know, it's a foul, right?
Yeah, that'll be one of those discussions with Dr. Joe Macknick when we have our little rules discussions when he gets mad at me for saying the referee shouldn't have done that.
For questioning his the rules.
We've had some great discussions over the years, that's for sure.
No foul!
Pedro trying to win a corner, or at least get around Gibbs, and he can't do either. O'Brien back to Valakari now out to the right. Salyer up in the back. Little run here from Byrne. Behncke standing wide open here near side.
You can see the difference. So you see how Henderson pinched in there. Didn't allow the Byrne to switch the ball before the rest of the defense got a chance to get in.
Gibbs wants a card, another card on Henderson. Henderson did kind of, again, not play the ball and play the man there. Second yellow.
Wow. And he really looked to the linesman to see if he agreed with that call. And that, I know Tim Hankins is not going to be happy with that because he didn't initially go to his pocket or look like he was going to make the call and kind of looked over to the official on the sideline to get. You know, the problem with that is Chris really never looks at the ball, and even if he didn't make the yellow at the beginning, he kind of looks at the player and tries to get his body in, gets the elbow up a little, but the fact that he's watching the player there and not looking at the ball is really the issue.
It's a good call. Terry Vaughn did go to the fourth official.
Yeah.
And Henderson with the 2 yellows, now a red.
And they can involve, you know, those, they call them referee assistants now. They don't call them linesmen anymore for that reason.
And he's gone here in the 89th minute. Quill sends one through. Dangerous ball. Cannon. Jump ball. And Cannon over the line. Or at least the ball was. Let's see what they're going to call. If it's a goal kick, yeah, the Rapids will try to take
That either had to be a goal kick. That's an interesting call because if it was over the line, that means it was over the line before he caught it. He didn't catch it and bring it over the line. And it looked like he picked it off the post, which would mean the whole ball wasn't over. But it's a moot point because here comes the Byrne with a corner.
Brad Davis, another lefty. Cannon punches out. De La Torre, little header. O'Brien gives it a go. Right to Cannon. Rapids have Matt Crawford on the sideline trying to maybe get him in. But of course, here in the 90th minute, that may not happen. There's Crawford.
Well, the fortunate part is that wasn't much time left on when Chris gets that second yellow. So you'd really hate not to come away with a point here after fighting this hard on the road in your opener.
Sullivan, good stick on Rhine. Rhine wanted a call, but I don't think he was aggressive enough. 3 minutes added.
Wow. That'll make for an exciting 3 minutes.
Flag up again, another offside. Garlick puts it down. Quick restart. Here comes Quill. Got Johnson and Rhine making runs. Rhine in the middle. Johnson down to the flag. Valakari knocks him. Another corner coming up. I'm counting right. That's a dozen on the night.
You know, you got to expect Tim to try to get in a defender here too and pull one of those strikers out.
And he's going to do that right now. Crawford's going to come in. And I think Pedro Peguero is going to come out. Trying to get the sub in before the corner, obviously.
It's always a tough call, too, because, you know, Pedro has a lot of height. He's strong in the air. He's been helping out defensively. But usually this is the smart call. You're down a man, you're only going to leave one up.
Davis, Sullivan through. Somebody wanted a foul, but Sullivan, the aggressive play.
Yeah, he was first to the ball there. That was definitely a no call. He's had a strong evening, and we talked about a lot of those little things just keeping the Rapids hanging on. They've beaten players to the ball, gotten inside.
Dallas going to make a sub. Oscar Pareja is going to come in for Behncke.
Now this is interesting. Oscar Pareja, I'll tell you what, he's really only back to training less than 2 weeks.
See that knee brace that he wears.
You know, surprised that he's getting in this game. They're really trying to get that go-ahead goal here.
And Jolley with a long throw into the box. Comes out. There's Cannon now.
It's such a attribute as far as the possession game, but it looks like he's running 100% there.
Rolls it to Chung. Chung finds Powell. Beckerman, a little bit of space. Oh, Beckerman had Spencer, but he played him too long.
I'm not even sure if he was just playing in behind to the flank player there, but Benny had found space in between the two backs and just a soft little ball in behind the D. I think he's in one-on-one.
And that's why Spencer looked down.
And man down, you don't get many of those chances.
Again, 3 minutes added here, so not much time left. Try the team to get the go-ahead goal. Salyer down that side, but Kachiao hits it right to Powell.
Good patience.
Powell discontinued his run because he kind of came up a little lame. Now he'll go back to midfield and play some D. Rhine shows, turns. Bobby Rhine has the goal. Good ball. Johnson's through, and there's Cannon off his line.
What
Joe
a nice
Cannon.
read.
Nice read.
He just was already just looking at that play, saw it coming the whole way off his line so quick. Good way to end the game for Colorado.
And Joe Cannon happy about getting the point here in Dallas.
Let's take a look at how early he's off his line. This ball slotted perfectly, and that's a tough ball, but he's already out, well past the 6. Eddie Johnson trying to jump over, just catches his leg a little bit, but good read for Joe Cannon just to save the point for him, Mark.
Bobby Rhine in the 76th minute. Penalty kick goal after Darryl Powell handballed in the 18, and Rhine tied it up. John Spencer had the goal in the 38th minute for the Rapids. And 1-1 our final here in Dallas. This copyrighted telecast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer. For my partner, Dave Durr, I'm Mark Stout saying so long from the Cotton Bowl here in Dallas. Final score 1-1. Our next Colorado Rapids broadcast, Saturday, April the 17th. The Rapids take on the LA Galaxy in the 2004 home opener. Join us at 7 p.m. on Fox Sports Net. This has been a presentation of Major League Soccer, official broadcast partner of the FIFA World Cup. Good night from Dallas.